love and marriage go together like a horse.
Remember when TV networks treated your emotional investment like a clearance bin VCR? Here 1 minute, but gone the next? Welcome to TV Heartbreak, where the population is, unfortunately, us. Today, we have part 3 of 6 more shows that vanished without a satisfying send-off, a sense of mercy, or even a half-hearted movie special. Links to part 1 and 2 are in the description. Now, the last time we revisited cliffhangers so cruel that our comment section turned into a group therapy session, and surprise, you had even more trauma to share. As always, these picks come straight from your suggestions, so stick around for number 1 because they crashed on us harder than Windows 95. And if we miss your biggest TV heartbreak, drop it in the comments. We might just suffer through part 4 together. Now, before we leap into the abyss of unresolved plotline, it helps more nostalgic masochists like you find us. Alright, ready? Let's rip off the emotional band-aid with number 6, Married with Children, Fox.
Do any of us really know what these young ladies go through to become stewardesses?
Now, you know what's even more dysfunctional than the Bundy family? Fox network executives in the 1990s. Married with Children gave us 11 years of Al Bundy's shoe-selling misery, Peg's hair, Bud's failed schemes, and Kelly's intellectual void. The anti-Cosby Show. It rewrote the sitcom playbook with a sledgehammer, pioneering lowbrow humor before it was cool. Launched in 1987 as Fox's first successful primetime series, it was the network's edgy answer to wholesome family sitcoms, and it worked. Edgy meaning jokes so inappropriate, half the censors needed therapy.
Ah, life with the wife out of town. Now this is marriage.
259 episodes, dozens of banned storylines, and a cultural legacy that's still referenced every time someone yells, "Whoa, Bundy!" at a family gathering. Or is that just us? Anyway, here's the kicker. After 11 seasons of mocking everyone and everything, Married with Children didn't get a grand finale. It didn't even get a guess what, you're canceled phone call. No, Fox just quietly stopped calling. One day, the writer's room showed up and found the doors locked. Okay, not literally, but it's Fox, so you never know. No finale, no rap party, not even a sad montage with slow-motion shoe store moments. The last episode, Chicago Shoe Exchange, aired in 1997 and ends with, wait for it, Kelly winning $1,000 on a game show, only for Al to blow it all on a discount shoe store. Fade to black, end credits. You'd think after a decade of marital misery, Al would get some closure. Maybe a new couch, a different pair of shoes, or at least a thank you for all those 4 touchdowns in a single game stories, but no. Instead, the entire Bundy family just disappeared, lost to syndication.
Bonbon.
Ed O'Neill found out the show was canceled from a couple of tourists who recognized him on vacation. Christina Applegate only realized it was over when her dressing room got reassigned to someone from the next failed Fox sitcom. The cast had been negotiating for season 12. They had storylines planned, including a potential Bud wedding arc and more of Marcy's feminist activism clashing with the Bundy chaos. Instead, they got the corporate equivalent of a ghost. Fox's reasoning? Declining ratings and rising production costs. Translation: we found cheaper ways to fill our schedule with reality TV garbage. By 1997, the show was still averaging 8 million viewers per episode. Numbers that would make modern network executives weep with joy. Fox called it a business decision, fans, however, called it a crime. Over the years, there's been talk of reunions, reboots, and revivals. In 2013, David Faustino starred in an episode of Modern Family that was basically Married with Children fan service.
Claire?
Oh my God, no way. Tater! Oh my gosh! Oh, I heard you're hugely successful.
Yeah, well, you know, when all the hot girls call you Tater, you tend to try a little harder.
But every time someone mentions bringing the Bundys back, rights issues, scheduling conflicts, or network politics kills the dream. 8 million viewers deserved better than a disappearing act. Number 5, Dark Angel. Again, Fox. You want a show that was ahead of its time? Try James Cameron's cyberpunk dystopia starring Jessica Alba 2 years before Firefly even tried. Dark Angel was gritty, weird, and so very Y2K, it practically came with a free AOL trial disc. This wasn't your typical post-apocalyptic wasteland. This was post-electromagnetic pulse America, where credit cards were useless, the internet was dead, and Seattle looked like it was perpetually auditioning for a grunge music video.
Don't move. I knew it. I knew you were one of them.
If that were true, this would be the part where I call in, attack you, and turn you over to Lydecker.
Set in 2019, which, fun fact, we've now lived through and was disappointingly less cyberpunk than the show. The show followed Max Guevara, played by Jessica Alba in her breakthrough role. Max wasn't your average 20-something trying to figure out life. She was a genetically engineered super soldier with enhanced speed, strength, and a barcode tattooed on her neck like she was a really dangerous grocery item. Season 1 established the mythology, secret government programs, kids with barcodes tattooed on their necks, and a dystopian world that looked suspiciously like Vancouver with more rain. Alba's Max was searching for her fellow escapees from Manticore, the military facility where she was created and trained. But Season 2, well, that's where things got weird, man. Fox moved the show to Fridays, the traditional death slot, and told Cameron to amp up the sci-fi elements. His response was basically, you want weird? I'll give you weird. Season 2 introduced transgenic creatures that looked like they'd wandered off the set of Babylon 5. There was Joshua, the dog-human hybrid, played by Kevin Durand, who became a fan favorite despite, or maybe because of, looking like a werewolf having an identity crisis. Then there was Alec, Max's genetic twin, played by Jensen Ackles. Yes, future Supernatural star Jensen, who was somehow identical to Max's dead boyfriend Ben, but with completely different DNA.
Did you find someone? He has a little canine DNA.
The show never really bothered explaining this beyond genetic engineering is weird, which is either lazy writing or brilliant absurdism, depending on your tolerance for sci-fi hand-waving. The Season 2 finale went all in. Max rallies her fellow transgenics for an all-out siege against the villainous Ames White and a city ready to burn them all at the stake, and then nothing. Fox canceled it in 2002 just as the show leaned into its X-Men by way of Seattle potential. How did it end? With Max standing on a rooftop, hands in the air, surrounded by a SWAT team and a crowd chanting for mutant blood. A classic, is this the start of a war? Will humanity and transgenics ever coexist? Wait, was that a dog boy with a machine gun cliffhanger? Cameron wanted a Season 3, or at least a movie, but Fox was done spending money on sci-fi that wasn't called The X-Files. Fans flooded the network with barcoded postcards. Jessica Alba threatened to leak spoilers. She didn't, but we dreamed, and instead we got a tie-in novel, a comic, and a bunch of what-if Reddit threads. 20 years later, there's still no answer to Max's last stand. So if you're looking for closure, sorry. All you're going to get here is the memory of mutant super soldiers, proto 9/11 paranoia, and Jessica Alba perfecting her smirk and punch combo. Thanks, Fox. This is starting to feel like a trend. Okay, now let's hit up a different network, but stay till the end because Fox has a couple more egregious ones coming up. Number 4, Joan of Arcadia, CBS. What if God talked to you and then the network stopped answering your prayers? Joan of Arcadia was CBS's early 2000 answer to What If Touched by an Angel had more sarcasm and less heart music. Created by Barbara Hall, who previously worked on Judging Amy and Northern Exposure, this wasn't your grandmother's faith-based programming. This was theology with teenage snark. The show followed the Girardi family, newly relocated from Chicago to Arcadia, Maryland. Will, the dad, played by Joe Montana, was chief of police, and his wife Helen, played by Mary Steenburgen, was an art teacher. Their kids included Kevin, played by Jason Ritter, yes, John Ritter's son, a paraplegic aspiring journalist whose baseball scholarship dreams were cut short by a car accident. Joan, played by Amber Tamblyn, the middle child who unexpectedly begins receiving divine assignments from God, appearing in many human forms, and Luke, played by Michael Welch, the youngest, a gifted science student navigating teenage relationships. The premise sounds like a rejected Saturday Night Live sketch. Joan starts getting visits from God, but here's the twist. God appears as different people. A cute boy at the coffee shop, a little girl in the park, an old woman at the bus stop, and sometimes even a dog walker with philosophical insights.
Do you believe in God?
That would only be pertinent if God told you to take advanced placement.
It was funny, surprisingly sharp, and managed to make existential angst feel relatable. The show wasn't afraid to get weird or tackle big questions. Faith, free will, why the cafeteria food is always terrible.
As an instrument of me, have some pride. Do better. Do your best.
Now I'd like to slap you.
Season 1 was a critical darling, winning a People's Choice Award and the Humanitas Prize. Amber Tamblyn earned an Emmy nomination for her nuanced performance. The show found a devoted fan base who appreciated its unique blend of comedy, drama, and philosophy. And then, cliffhanger time. The Season 2 finale, Something Wicked This Way Comes, aired April 22nd of 2005 and darkened the tone completely.
There's been a disturbance in your magnetic field. You'll understand it soon. Have to go now.
Joan encounters Ryan Hunter, a charismatic but sinister figure with powers suggesting a rival connection to the divine. As his influence spreads, most alarmingly to Joan's boyfriend Adam Rove, Joan's trust in her mission falters. The final moments see God appearing to Joan.
If you want me to do this, I get it, but I can't do it alone. My own father doesn't believe me. My ex-boyfriend is siding with the devil. I have no weapons.
Except, there was no next season. CBS canceled Joan of Arcadia on April 20th, 2005, just 2 days before the finale aired. The network cited declining ratings from about 10 million viewers in Season 1 to 8 million in Season 2. The cast found out about the cancellation from entertainment journalists, not CBS executives. Amber Tamblyn learned from her agent, Jason Ritter discovered it while browsing entertainment websites, and viewers were left with a theological mystery for the ages. Showrunner Barbara Hall has been incredibly gracious about sharing her Season 3 plans over the years. Joan would have learned about other historical divine messengers, some who succeeded and some who failed catastrophically. The adversary storyline would have escalated into a full-scale spiritual war with Joan caught between competing cosmic forces. CBS replaced Joan of Arcadia with Ghost Whisperer because apparently what viewers really wanted was less philosophical complexity and more Jennifer Love Hewitt talking to dead people. If you hear God's voice in your local deli line, ask for spoilers because we're still waiting. Alright, quick poll time. Which cliffhanger would you actually want resolved? Drop your pick in the comment section below, and if you're loving this nostalgic suffering, smash that like button and subscribe for more TV Heartbreak every week. Now, back to the pain with number 3, The Invisible Man from 2000, Sci-Fi Channel.
There once was a story about a man who could turn invisible. I thought it was only a story, until it happened to me.
Some heroes wear capes, some wear lab coats, and some you can't see at all thanks to experimental gland technology and a special effects budget that probably costs less than a decent used car. The Invisible Man from 2000 that aired on the Sci-Fi Channel, not the 1933 Claude Rains masterpiece or the 1975 TV series, or any of the 17,000 other adaptations of H.G. Wells' novel, was the kind of show that could only exist on cable television in the early 2000s. It was weird, snarky, and completely uninterested in taking itself seriously.
My name is Darian Fox. They call me Furious D, and I'm the coolest secret agent that you never did see.
Vincent Ventresca starred as Darian Fox, a career thief facing life in prison.
Oh, crap.
He got a second chance when his scientist brother Kevin pulled strings to get him released on the condition that he volunteer for a top-secret government experiment. Kevin implanted a quicksilver gland in Darian's brain that let him turn invisible by secreting a light-bending substance from his pores. The effect covered his body, clothes, and anything he was holding. The catch? The gland had been sabotaged by rogue scientist Arnaud the Femme. Without a regular injection of counteragent, the gland leaked into Darian's brain and caused quicksilver madness, a psychotic break with euphoria, violent mood swings, and just enough awareness to know how terrifying it was.
Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, no. Oh, shit!
Then terrorists attacked the lab. Kevin was killed, the research was destroyed.
He's smarter than them, okay? You are always smarter than me. Kevin? Kevin! Kevin!
So there was Darien, stuck with experimental tech, no brother, no research team, and nowhere to go but into the loving arms of a low-rent spy agency with a budget straight out of Office Space. The agency was a Cold War leftover that got shuffled from department to department like a hot potato nobody wanted to hold. Fish and game 1 week, Indian affairs the next, and eventually, yes, the Bureau of Weights and Measures. Try pulling rank with that on your ID badge. Freeze! Federal Weights Inspector! It doesn't work. Darien was partnered with Bobby Hobbs, played by Paul Ben Victor, a manic ex-Marine with a third-person complex and a habit of calling his gun his insurance policy. Their boss, the official, played by Eddie Jones, ran the place like a grumpy high school principal who'd given up on life. Meanwhile, the keeper, played by Shannon Kenny, was the icy cool doctor who kept Darien alive with counteragent doses and tracked his mental state through a segmented tattoo on his arm. Season 2 added Agent Alex Monroe, played by Brandy Ledford, a martial arts trained operative with personal history tied to the show's real big bad, Chrysalis, a shadowy biotech syndicate that had used her as a surrogate mother to produce a genetically engineered child, then took her son after birth. Her arrival signaled a shift from the agency's bumbling bureaucracy to something much, much darker. Chrysalis wasn't just in the business of stolen children. They were stealing scientific breakthroughs and infiltrating government institutions. Darien eventually learned that Kevin's Quicksilver research, the sabotage, and even the agency's failures were all part of a larger conspiracy. Chrysalis wanted control of invisibility, human evolution, everything. Think the island of Dr. Moreau with better IT support. He dropped philosopher quotes, muttered "oh crap" when things went sideways, and turned body parts invisible just to mess with people. In one particularly inspired moment, he faked his own beheading by turning just his head invisible, leaving enemies staring at what appeared to be a headless corpse that was still very much alive and kicking. Peak cable TV right there, everybody. Despite being cured of Quicksilver madness by the end of Season 2, Darien walked away from the agency briefly, but after discovering how deep Chrysalis's influence ran, and realizing the threat they posed to humanity, he returned. Not for better hours and pay, but because he was uniquely equipped and morally compelled to stop them. The show was critically acclaimed for blending comedy, sci-fi, and action, but at over $1 million per episode, those slick invisibility effects weren't just burning through Darien's counteragent, they were torching Sci-Fi Channel's budget. So when viewership dipped even slightly, the network's parent company pulled the plug faster than you can say fiscal responsibility. What's worse is that it ended on a cliffhanger that teased a larger war against Chrysalis, a rebirth of the agency, and a new phase for Darien as something more than just a reluctant spy, a true hero. We never got to see any of it. The cast didn't even get a farewell party. Vincent Ventresca, who played Darien, once said, "We didn't get a finale. We didn't even get to say goodbye. We just didn't show up for work one day." Fans kept hope alive with petitions, fanfic, and the world's saddest GeoCities memorial pages, but the Quicksilver never flowed again. If you ever see a guy mumbling about gland-based superpowers at your local Comic-Con, buy him a coffee because he's still waiting for closure too. Number 1, Alien Nation, Fox. What's worse than ending on a cliffhanger? Ending on a literal biological weapon attack, followed by a network abandoning ship. Alien Nation, which aired from 1989 to 1990, was that rare beast, an alien cop drama that was actually smart. It was part Lethal Weapon, part social commentary before social commentary was trendy, and it paired hard-nosed human detective Matthew Sykes with his Tanktonese partner, George Francisco, in a near-future LA struggling to integrate alien refugees. It tackled racism, cultural prejudice, and interplanetary awkwardness, sometimes all in one episode. Think District 9, but with more buddy cop banter and less exploding aliens.
I've got to assign detectives to the case.
The choice is simple, Captain. I should be assigned the case to demonstrate that I am not biased by my species.
Alien Nation found a devoted following with its blend of procedural crime solving and thoughtful sci-fi mythology, but Fox, facing financial strain, axed it after just one season. How did it end? With Green Eyes, a cliffhanger so brutal it makes other finales look like gentle bedtime stories. Sykes and Francisco investigate suspicious deaths involving a genetically engineered bacterium designed specifically to kill newcomers. The National Purist Front claims responsibility and threatens more carnage. George's recent promotion makes him a target, but the real gut punch was an anonymous gift meant for George instead infects his wife Susan and daughter Emily with a test version of an even deadlier toxin designed to wipe out all Tanktonese. Fade to black. Will they survive? Can the bioweapon be stopped? Is this the beginning of alien genocide? Spoiler alert, we had to wait 4 years to find out. Fan outrage actually kind of worked in a way, sort of. In 1994, Fox produced 5 made-for-TV movies, starting with Dark Horizon, originally conceived as the Season 2 premiere. Most of the cast returned, and the Green Eyes cliffhangers got resolved. But the gap in format change meant the magic was never quite the same.
All right, damn it. I know you use my razor spud brain, but I don't get it. You don't have any hair on your face, on your head, on your legs. What the hell do you shave?
So, if you're still mad about Alien Nation, you have every right. Closure? Well, you eventually got it, but by then the damage was done and we'd moved on to other sci-fi disappointments. And there you have it. 6 shows that got sent to the TV graveyard with zero closure, maximum pain, and enough unresolved plot lines to fill a Reddit support group. Did your personal heartbreak make the cut this time, or did we miss another big one? Drop your picks in the comments section below, because who knows, maybe part 4 is inevitable. If you love this kind of retro suffering, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a countdown or another TV gut punch. Check the description for links to parts 1 and 2, plus some of our deep dives into TV's weirdest endings and best theme songs. Until next time, this is Remember When, still waiting for closure.